Hey, what's going on, everyone? Vega here for Serpent Tech. Welcome back to another episode of Caffeine Crypto. Last weekend was missed because it took the fan to Legoland. Thank you for your patience. Also, we got a couple things coming up here in the future. Obviously, Mind Disrupt. I'll try to live stream. We'll just be coming back later that week. I should be good for Saturday, but bear with me. And then we got Bitcoin Nashville coming up in the following month as well. So bear with me. I'll be bringing you content as much as possible. There might be some breaks or hiatus from the regularly scheduled content at 7 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but content will be released nonetheless. So just hang tight for me. Thank you so much for stopping by. Appreciate you coming and hanging out with us. This is an episode or a live stream where we just go over crypto news for the past week, right? See what's popping, see what's going on. Obviously, this past week has been kind of a concerning week for a lot of people. Not for me. It really just depends on where your convictions are and stuff like that, right? The market has dipped, but to me, oh well. Like it's absolutely nothing in the grand scheme of things in the long term. In the short term, obviously, you could be playing between the 66 and 70K range and shorting or buying, longing, whatever. But to me, this is not much of anything. So first off, good morning to everybody that stopped by. Chris Hanley, Sherm, Golden Wolf, Dan, what's up, buddy? Scott, J. Bohannon, Automatic Beats. Appreciate you all hanging out. Magic Lucky, how you doing, bud? Appreciate you guys. Crypto Pounder 4, good morning to you. So yeah, kind of a red week in the overall. Ethereum's still doing pretty good, right? While everybody's pulled back quite a bit, Ethereum's doing pretty good. BNB still over 600. Ethereum over the 3,500 mark. Bitcoin sitting around the 66K. Toncoin doing really good at $8 still. Uniswap up to $11.68 despite a lot of concern regarding the SEC going after these decentralized exchanges, so on and so forth, MetaMask. But I still believe in the long-term health of cryptocurrency. Looking at the Bitcoin charts on the daily, we start off the week. We got one green candle on the 9th. But then it was just a pullback, basically. Two red candles, followed by a green, then two more red, and then here we go again with another green. I'm really hoping that July, if June is not the month where we start to push up towards the new all-time high, I'm really hoping July or August. It'd be very sick to have Bitcoin pump and make a new all-time high while I'm at Bitcoin Nashville, but we can wish in one hand and in the other and see which one fills up faster. So just this drop from where we are right now. All right, let's just look at the top here, even though it's not the beginning of this week. It's more like the end of the previous week. That's only a 9.7% dip. So 10% pullbacks is not in the realm of impossible. I mean, 30% pullbacks is not in the realm of impossible. If we go from this high here to this low here, that's 23%, right? And so that's measuring from, let's say, the high of March 15th to the low of May 2nd. So definitely within the realm of possibility to have a 30% pullback if we were supposed to pull, or if we pulled back 30% from where we were, right? Let's measure from up here. 30% would put us around the 50K mark. Is that possible? I definitely think it is mathematically. However, I do believe there's a lot of areas of support where people are willing to, like even myself, I have positions in to where if it hits 58K, I'm going to get some. If it hits 55K, I'm going to get some. If it hits 52, I'm going to get some. Dollar cost average over time, trying to accumulate more sats, more Bitcoin as much as possible, right? Because we got the suits in the game now. They want to get as much crypto as possible for their organization, institution, bank, whatever it might be. So the retail, the average person, in which Bitcoin was really intended for, it's kind of being pushed out in my personal opinion, but that's just my personal viewpoint, right? So we want the average end user, the one that doesn't trust the bank to, or the government to have their money when they're ready to retire because they can't afford to work the rest of their lives like myself. We want to diversify ourselves in our assets into a number of different cryptocurrencies. Bitcoin is my largest holding. It's not my only holding, but it is my largest holding. And I still believe in it in the long term whatsoever. And I do believe that some people are saying on Twitter that, mass adoption would ruin Bitcoin or ruin crypto. And I kind of agree with that, right? If, McDonald's and all these different chains, Starbucks, whatever, Walmart, start accepting crypto, it would be nice because it does help with adoption and people starting to utilize Bitcoin and see what it's for or what it's worth and then actually saving it and instead of spending it. But if we all just sit there in diamond hands all day and not spend it, right? We're not putting back into the economy, back into the market. It's not really healthy. It depends on the number of variables like token supply, so on and so forth. But I think too many of the institutions and suits are trying to gobble up Bitcoin faster than you and I can. And so your best bet, and not financial advice, our best bet, excuse me, is to just go ahead and get as much as we possibly can, right? Not everybody in the world can own one Bitcoin, but if you could get close to that, then congrats. Keep it going, baby. Keep it going. All right. Thank you for allowing me to sip some of my coffee. That's what I love about Caffeine and Crypto. I welcome you to join me with your favorite beverage, caffeine, coffee, energy drink, whatever you got, as we sit down and go over this week's news. First on the agenda, and if you are trying to get my attention, please at me or send a super chat. Otherwise, we're going to rock and roll right into the news. Bitcoin plunges to 65K. Altcoins bleed 10 to 20% as week turns ugly. Some 180 million of leveraged derivatives positions were liquidated across crypto assets during the shakedown, says CoinGlass data. Excuse me. Well, look, prime time for crypto assets on softening inflation data has turned into an ugly week, with Bitcoin tumbling to the weakest price in 4 weeks. On Friday, Bitcoin tumbled more than 2% in an hour to 65K during a U.S. trading session from around the 67K area. The leading crypto was down 7.5% in the past 7 days. If we measure it from basically early Sunday to the end of this week, or the lowest at this point in the week, we saw 9.7%, 9.6 something percent. Anyway, smaller cryptocurrencies saw ever steeper declines with the broad market benchmark CoinDesk 20 index shedding more than 12 or almost 12% week over week. Ethereum dropped to 3,400, losing over 10% during the period, while native tokens of rival layer 1 networks like Solana, Avalanche, Cardano, Near sported 15 to 20% decline, says CoinGecko data. The swift tumble liquidated 180 million in leveraged derivatives trading positions across all crypto assets over the past 24 hours, and most of them longs betting on higher prices. This week's shakeout saw a total of over 870 million in liquidations, flushing excess leverage from the markets. Analysts and many market participants just a few days ago anticipate an imminent breakdown for Bitcoin to new record highs, supported by slower pace of inflation and softer economic data, but attempts for a rally were quickly sold off, leaving Bitcoin stuck in a sideways range. And we've been in the sideways range, as you can see here from this chart, for quite a while, right? If we're looking at the daily, how many days is this? Let's just say from over here to over here. That's 103 days, okay? So after the halving, right? Remember, we hit previous all-time highs, or we broke past previous all-time highs before the halving, when I was expecting it to happen after the halving. We're still on track for moving upwards in an upwards trajectory long term, and possibly hitting a new all-time high towards the end of this year, but that's not the end of it. At least that's my speculation, pure speculation on my part. I still think that we're going to continue to pump into 2025 after the next presidential elections, which is going to be very important. Even though you may not be in the U.S. presidential elections are very important in how crypto is going to perform in the future. It may perform still, but it may perform even better if a certain president is elected. The unfortunate thing is, I don't agree with either one. Both of them are kind of like picking from the lesser of two evils, and I kind of hate that, but it's honestly been every single U.S. presidential election, unfortunately. So, again, shit in one hand and wish in one hand and shit in another. See which one fills up faster. Anyway, so the Fed meeting that we had earlier this week, and I'm just kind of summarizing it, it looks like we're only going to have one rate cut this year. And unfortunately, what that means is if we're only going to have one rate cut this year, the markets are going to continue to move sideways. We might have some nice little pumps and dips, but we're going to continue to move sideways until that rate cut happens. When that rate cut does happen, we can see the crypto market see a nice little surge. But I'm sure every one of us is wondering where the hell is the alt season, because I am certainly waiting on it. It'd be nice to have. But we have to wait how things go, especially with political uncertainty in Europe as well. We got the DXY, the dollar, higher against other major currencies to its strongest levels in more than a month, putting pressure on Bitcoin, right? But there are some concerns about the USD or the US dollar, right? Because you got the BRICS nations making some changes. Not going to cover that in today's topic or newscast, but there's a lot of things going on in geopolitics, a lot of things going on between presidential elections, a lot of things going on between various entities, governments, and otherwise, kind of playing hardball still with crypto. So once everything kind of cools off and those regulators, those politicians, those legislators sit down and work with these various crypto institutions or otherwise, I think we're going to continue to see this hardball kind of being played back and forth. It's kind of like a tennis game, exactly what we see here. Perfect timing, actually. Bitcoin bounces at 1 month lows. Watch the BTC price levels next. Bitcoin surprised on June 14th by delivering another 3.5% dip, taking Bitcoin to USD to 64.9. Building on existing weakness. Sorry, I didn't want to sneeze in your ear. My apologies. I probably look really ugly when I do that because that's what I look like when I sneeze. You get over it. Anyways, building on existing weakness, the move took current week-to-date losses to more than 6.7%, and Bitcoin price access to the lowest since mid-May. Bitcoin just lost technical support at the 50-day moving average, Keith Allen said, co-founder of Trading Resource Material Indicators, wrote in part of the market coverage, if bulls lose at 65K, be prepared for 60K or lower. And that's what I'm saying. Like, I see 58K, that's why I have a position there. I see 58K being a good level for me to go ahead and grab some more, right? The goal is to try to accumulate as much Bitcoin. So if it dips, I'm a dollar cost average. If it dips even further, I'm a dollar cost average. If it dips even further than that, I'm a dollar cost average. If it gets to a certain point, I already told the wifey, hey, we're going to go ahead and throw in a significant, significant to me might not be significant to you, right? Like $20 at McDonald's may be nothing to you, but it might be something to me. So you don't think about things with your wallet. Think about things in its natural, like sats, right? Or GWE or whatever the currencies are for these different assets and stuff like that. Don't think about it with the fiat or the USD or the euro or whatever the heck your local fiat currency is. But either way, thinking with your wallet is the wrong idea. But if you can dollar cost average when it dips, go for it, baby. Anyways, of particular interest to the short-term holders, entities holding a given unit of Bitcoin for up to 155 days, which represent a more speculative end of the holder spectrum. Cointelegraph reported the cost basis has functioned as bull market support almost flawlessly since the start of 2023. CryptoQuant currently shows the STH, which is the short-term holders, realized price is 62.2. And I know a lot of people who probably bought at 65K are kicking themselves in the rear. They're still up today, but like they've been stuck at this range and not really seeing much gains. But if they just hold long-term instead of looking at the short-term, they're probably going to be a lot better. Anyways, another cohort, those holdings, those hodling for between 3 and 6 months have realized price of 55.5K with Bitcoin diamond hands. The long-term holders have their cost basis at 24.3. So those that got in at that range, pretty good, right? How long the correction might last will be determined by the market, but in previous cycles, similar situations lasted from 65 to 371 days. And if we look at the chart here, let's try to zoom away here. So let's do 65 to, let's see here. What was the halving? The halving was, let's just go about right here. And let's say 321 days, right? We're almost a quarter of the way through. Right, so not too far. That will put us around March of 2025. So I would say end of Q2, end of Q1 2025, or beginning of Q2 2025 is what I'm really looking at. Let's see here. Bitcoin trader watches for a liquid squeeze. Should such a scenario occur, longtime trader Peter Brandt warned that the path to as low as 48K could come into play, which again is not outside the realm of possibility. If we look at the 30% dips in the past, I do believe the dips won't be as significant as it was in 2014, 2017, 2016, but they still are possible, right? Others are focused on short-term areas of interest based on exchange order book activity among the popular trader Skew, who on June 15th revealed thickening bid liquidity around 62K. Looks like the bid wall around 65K did get partially front run here. There's a noticeably a large gap between the bids and ask here, he noted, and the landscape of the largest global exchange, Binance, quoted as liquidity around 70K currently. So there's room for force on the illiquid squeeze, in which I'd be watching for the passive supply selling into the 68K to 69K range. Some fresh bid liquidity quoted around 63K to 62K, with a bulk of demand around 60K if 65K gets lost, right? So that's why I'm looking around that 58 to 60K range, somewhere in there. A good majority of people might buy it up at 60, or even if at 62, so my 58 might not fill, but if it does get to that, I will be ready. Are you? All right. Bitcoin traders brace for 60K dip. So let's go ahead and do a quick poll right now. What we got you guys here, 26 watching, make sure you hit that like button for me, please. Do you believe, and this is just speculation on all of our parts, we're not financial advisors or experts, do you believe that Bitcoin can hit below, thank you for posting all the numbers, below 60K? Let's say 60K. And I want to know what you guys think. I'm posting it right now. Give me a second. Yes. No. Not possible, because there's too much people on the sidelines waiting to buy it up. Not sure. I'm going to give you 4 options here. 26 people. 27, thank you for stopping by. If you just joined. What's up, Taines? How you doing? Scott, appreciate you stopping by. Hope you're doing good, brother. And no at me so far. No sound. What do you mean no sound? I'm seeing sound. Are you guys not seeing sound? Are you guys hearing me? It looks like you guys are hearing me because you're typing to me. Let me know in the live chat. You guys should be able to hear me. But yeah. Are you trolling me, Jay Bohannon? I have sound now. Okay. All right. Cool. Bitcoin traders brace for 60K. All right. Could we do this? Could we actually hit 60K? Yes. The answer is yes. Let's just be real. Okay. The answer is yes. But I think there's a lot of buying pressure at that range that I'm not really concerned about it, right? Even if Bitcoin did dip down to 50K, my confidence, my convictions, my beliefs in Bitcoin, in blockchain, in the overall mission that Satoshi set out to do with Bitcoin, that's now kind of being not manipulated, but kind of finagled with, is still strong. The fundamentals are still strong. So my convictions are fine. Even if it does dip to that levels, no stress in my life. I'm going to continue stacking them sats, and I'll see you guys on the other side. Yes, it would be beneficial, for example, if Bitcoin were to dip, right? And I sell right now at 66.4K, a decent portion of my Bitcoin. It dips down to 58K, and I buy it right back up. That would be a good play because I earn more Bitcoin in the process while spending less money. But the risk is too high, right? For me to time the market, I would get wrecked rather than just being in the market overall, right? So time in the market beats time in the market, as always said. So nonetheless, Bitcoin investors are gearing up to witness a correction in crypto markets, expecting the world's largest cryptocurrency to potentially plunge to 60K based on recent selling behavior among miners and other factors. And miners are selling. My wife asked me the other day, why are miners selling? And she's over here thinking it's me and you, right? The smaller operations, the at-home, the sheds, the little warehouse environments, the small office environments where we got all our GPU rigs, our ASICs, and all that stuff, we're selling. Now, granted, some of us would be selling, right? Because we got to cover our bills, our rent, our overhead, power, whatever that might be. But it's mostly the larger operations, right? Your riots and so on and so forth that do need to sell the Bitcoin they mine to a certain extent in order to pay back, maybe investors, the power bill, their overhead, so on and so forth. So it's just a natural thing, right? You mine a bunch of Bitcoin, you sell some of it to pay whatever the operation cost is for your facility or location, and then you keep on mining, right? The goal is that you hopefully make more Bitcoin than you have to sell to pay the bills in the long run. And some of these farms are making, hundreds of Bitcoin a day at the large scale, while some are just making tens or 20s of Bitcoin a day in the smaller size. And it takes a large operation to even do that. And then you have to sell a good majority of it just to cover your overhead, depending on how invested, I guess you could say, you are. But maybe we'll talk to some people at the Mining Disrupt conference. I'd be interested in hanging out with you if you do come by. If you haven't got your tickets, check out the link in the description. Save some money with my link, and I hope to see you there. But I would like to talk to some of these maybe mining locations, facilities, owners. If you're an owner of a mid to large scale operation, I would love to have a sit down chat with you if you have some time to allocate. But anyways, everybody's gearing up for it. On Friday, the price of Bitcoin languished to 65K, yada yada yada. Crypto markets also saw another setback this week after some Bitcoin ETF or exchange traded funds continued record new outflows, right? With the exception of BlackRock, right? Some are flowing out of various ETFs. Nearly half of the outflow stemmed from Fidelity, Wise, Origin Bitcoin Fund, which hemorrhaged 106 million in Bitcoin, along with Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which lost 62 million. Amid the outgoing flows, experts warn that the worst is not over. Bitcoin's price is anticipated to drop further, despite the fact that other conditions suggest reason for positive price momentum. Bitcoin continues to test the strength of the 50-day moving average, but it doesn't find enough reason to dive lower. Such persistent testing of the lows set the bears up for a quick success with their next target at 60K, says Alex, FX Pro's senior marketing analyst. Meanwhile, despite the bearish outlook in the short term, analysts at Alliance Bernstein, a global asset management firm, suggests on Friday that Bitcoin would climb to 200K next year. Now, I'm sure you all heard me say it 102 times, but I'm more in the range of 125 to 140, somewhere in there. That's what my price target is. Somewhere in Q2, Q3 of next year is where I can see Bitcoin sitting. Obviously, as we continue to move forward in this world, and we're talking long term, I'm betting, Bitcoin could eventually do $250,000, but, more like when I get closer towards retirement. Now, I'd be happy to be wrong and have Bitcoin hit 200K in 2025, 2026, but I don't have the data, and I don't think the data supports that just yet. Yes, there's a lot of other, I wouldn't call it institutions, but a lot of other old money and new money sitting on the sidelines still, but we have to wait and see how things pan out. Now, Bitcoin conference, again, is coming up here shortly. If you haven't gotten your tickets, I got a link also in the description for that if you want to prepare for July. If you haven't bought your tickets already, use coupon code SERPENTX on checkout to go ahead and save some money. A lot of the big influencers would be there, as long as a lot of the major industry personnel, as well as myself and Dan, representing Yeti Audits, Yeti.uk, if you're not familiar with that, as well as myself, SerpentX Tech. And I'd be interested to have you, talk to you, and maybe talk a little bit of business if you are on that side of the aisle. Would love to have a sit-down chat with you. Anyways, MicroStrategy boosts stock sale to 700 million to buy some more Bitcoin. Of course, Michael Saylor wants to continue to buy some more Bitcoin. He always will. What's funny is Michael Saylor in the past was a critic of Bitcoin, and now he's one of the big, I guess you could say, proponents of Bitcoin. So isn't that quite funny? Little time mining. We just had a nice pump. You're talking about on Bitcoin, 77 to 96K, maybe 120K in 3 years. I can certainly see that happening. Chris Hanley says, I think I have the same vape. Yep, the Vice View vape, which is out of stock everywhere, but I still get it through online resources, which I'm sure the state of Florida hates. Suck it. Anyways, MicroStrategy, led by Michael Saylor, has increased the size of its planned stock sale to raise additional funds to purchase Bitcoin. The company is now seeking to raise $700 million, up from the previously announced $500 million. MicroStrategy first announced plans on Thursday to raise $500 million by selling convertible senior notes to qualified institutional buyers. The proceeds will primarily go toward acquiring more Bitcoin for its corporate treasury, which already contains over 214,000 Bitcoin. Let's actually do the exact math on it. I'm just curious. All right, so 214,400 times, let's do 66,729. 66,729 times 66,729.52. That is not $15 billion. That's actually $14.3 billion right now. It depends on when this article was written, though. But I like exacts, right? I like, if you're going to give me data, give me exact data. But I know for a pretty nice little, like, clean news article, maybe not so much. We don't need all those commas and decimals. Anyways, the software analytics firm that boosted the offering to $700 million on Friday, the company said that offering is expected to close on June 17th, which is exactly 2 days from now. Now, if Bitcoin stays around where it's at, let's say 65 to 60K, 66K, that's actually going to work out in the benefit of Michael Saylor and his company. But if it pumps up to 69.70 before the 17th, or before they have their money ready to purchase Bitcoin, then I could certainly see that being a problem. However, there should be a large order of Bitcoin being purchased, which should pump the price. However, a lot of these large institutions, like, you're not fooling me. I know most of the transactions you do is OTC. So, whatever, man. Anyways, the structure shows investors to benefit from potential Bitcoin price upside through the stock conversion option. It also shields new holders from the downside risk due to their senior unsecured status. Look out, guys. 50 seconds to an ad. YouTube's about to throw it on you. I'm so sorry, but I got to pay the bills, and I thank you so much. Make sure to hit that like button. Anyways, MicroStrategy said it may use proceeds not allocated to Bitcoin purchases for general corporate purposes. However, its intent is clearly to expand its Bitcoin trove while prices remain depressed. And I have noticed that. It kind of feels like something is depressing us. Something is continuously pushing us down, stopping us from making our new all-time high. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Thank you for stopping by. Gina Luca? Gina Luca? I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing that. Forgive me. Anyways, the point being is, anytime we try to get near the recent all-time high of 70, almost 74K, I feel like we're being pushed down. No. We're not ready yet. No, Bitcoin, no. No, sit. Stay. Bitcoin, no. Wait. And then you're going to be like, all right, go. Just go. And then we're able to run free. I'd be interested to see how things go. But obviously, if we look at the volume down here, right, you can see the volumes around the run up to the new all-time high is much greater than the volumes that we're sitting at now. So I think a lot of money, while it's sustainable, right, while it's pretty good comparatively, it's waiting for a lot of people on the sidelines to be like, all right, let's go. Let's do this. Let's go. Let's push this SOB to new all-time highs. Let's rock and roll, baby. We notice you have ad blocker. Please turn it off. Get out of here. Bernstein sees Bitcoin hitting 200K next year. Bullish on MicroStrategy, right? So, again, what we just talked about with MicroStrategy, Michael Saylor and company, buying more Bitcoin. Bernstein last night initiated coverage last night on MicroStrategy with the overnight rating of 28.90 price target, which represents 80% upside. The firm also revised up its Bitcoin price expectation of 200,000 by 2025 versus the 150K previously. This is led by unprecedented Bitcoin demand via exchange-traded funds run by world-leading asset managers and Bitcoin supply being constrained. The analyst tells investors in a research note, Bernstein has base case estimates, or best case estimate, I don't know what it is, are Bitcoin at 200K by the end of 2025, 500K by 2029, and 1 million by 2033. If that's possible, baby, go for it. Go for it. I can't, at the rate I'm working, I can't afford to keep working all the way until retirement and all the way until 67. Like, there's no way. I'm going to kill myself before then because I'm working multiple duties, let's just say multiple jobs, just like the average American is, just to keep up with the current pricing of our world, yada, 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 taking care of our families, whatever, right? If this price actually happens well before my retirement age, that would be absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. We'll have to wait and see, though. The funny thing is as the price starts hitting up this way, my wife is going to be like, are you going to sell yet? Are you going to sell yet? Are you going to sell yet? Take profits, pay off the house, take profits, do this, take profits, do that. So I'm going to have to contend with her. While my HODL game is strong, my wife does have a point. Like, if we have an opportunity to pay off some debts and own our house and this, that, like I own my cars, but I got one car that's down. The other two, I like the Subaru I could do work on. Like, I could use this money to clean up a lot of stuff financially, not only for my family, but I would like to do something for my mom. I would like to make sure that the wifey's good to go. You know, debt is never a good thing. But many of Americans, and I think not just Americans, but the world is in debt. So we'll have to see how that pans out. And if it hits that price, $1 million by 2033, good golly, Miss Molly, dude, that would be awesome. Now, I'm going to manage my expectations. I'm not going to get too overhyped, but that would be absolutely awesome. What do you guys think? Do you think Bitcoin can hit that by 2033? No, forget that. Forget that question. Not if you think it could hit, but if it did hit, how much would that impact your life? How much would that help you out, right? Do you have a large position in Bitcoin, a small position on Bitcoin? Do you have hundreds of Bitcoins? That's irrelevant. I don't care about that. Don't dox yourself and never tell anybody what you have. What I care about is if you know what you got already and Bitcoin hits $1 million, do the math on that. Calculate it. Will that help you out drastically in your day-to-day life and taking care of yourself, your family, stuff like that? That's what I want to know about. Again, never share what you actually own. Don't give statistics. You can give percentages of your portfolio. Like, Bitcoin makes up 60% of my portfolio, or Ethereum makes up 30% of my portfolio, but never share the actual amount of crypto you own. That you're painting a target on yourself. Don't do that, okay? Anyways, moving on. The company has transformed from a small software company to a large Bitcoin holding company, owning around 1.1% of the world's Bitcoin supply, worth $14.5 billion, according to analysts. Bernstein believes that the stock deserves to trade at a premium over market value of its Bitcoin, since its position itself as an active leverage Bitcoin strategy versus the passive spot Bitcoin ETF. Over the last 4 years, MicroStrategy has delivered a higher Bitcoin per equity share. The firm says it believes the company's long-term convertible debt strategy allows it enough time to gain from Bitcoin upside with limited liquidation risk to its Bitcoin on the balance sheet. Shares of MicroStrategy are up 1% or $14.98 to around $14.98. That's where it is right now. So let's say it's around $1,500 right now for MicroStrategy. These guys are betting on the price going up to almost $3,000. That's pretty significant. We'll see how things pan out. Like, I like Michael Saylor, but we'll have to wait and see. Now, to the presidential election. I don't like talking politics on my channel, but I'm just going to be honest with you. I don't like either president. They don't tick all the boxes for me on either side of the aisle, and it's quite unfortunate. Yes, they tick some boxes, but not all boxes, right? While I might like, that Donald Trump is pro-crypto and Biden is against crypto, I don't like all of Trump's other personality traits. I think it could be a concern for our country unless he takes that shit down and becomes the businessman that he was in the past with less bankruptcies. That will be good. But Biden and his camp are against crypto, but I agree with some of the other visions that they have, right? We do need to improve our infrastructure. We do need to improve blah, blah, blah. Like, there's certain boxes that Biden ticks that Trump doesn't, but then there's certain boxes that Trump ticks that Biden doesn't. So it's the catch-22, and it looks like it's going to be between the lesser of two evils once again, unfortunately. Anyways, that's just my personal opinion. You do what's best for you. And honestly, I don't care for politics. I don't care for the stupid cloak and dagger, right? We elected these assholes and wonderful ladies. I don't know why I comment the ladies and call the guys assholes, but we elected these individuals into the office to do a job, and all I hear day in and day out most of the time, especially when we have major hearings or votes, is a bunch of bickering and crying. And when it comes to, hey, we need to get this bill passed for the American people, I'm not going to sign it unless you give me, $90 million towards the black budget, or unless you give me, a tax cut on oil refineries, or unless you give me, like, it's a whole bunch of, I'm going to hold you hostage unless you give me this, and then I'm going to sign. And if you don't sign and don't goes through, we don't help the American people. It's just, it's stupid. It's a stupid game right now, and I don't like it. It's not what it should be about. It should be about doing what's right for the American people. That's why you were voted into the damn position. Do your damn jobs. Anyways, my opinion has no effect on you. You erase everything I just said. You do you. Period. End of discussion. You do you, I do me. We meet in the middle. We have cordial conversation. We have constructive criticism, debate, but we can still coincide and live with one another. That's how we keep the world moving forward. Once a not a fan of cryptocurrency, Trump has reversed course and is poised reap a $100 million windfall from the embattled industry looking for friends in Washington. Okay, that statement was crazy. Anyways, sharp reversal for President Trump, basically. As he embraced the cryptocurrencies he once reveled, looking to outflank rivals Joe Biden and Robert F. Kennedy, who was big into crypto, right? Like, Robert F. Kennedy was going to all kinds of events and stuff like that. So, yeah. Trump saw something there. He saw a base that he could tap into, and I think that's why he changed course, because that's a lot of voters that he could get on his side if he's pro-crypto and says all the right terms. And I think somebody highly educated behind the scenes in his administration is been feeding him this information, because he is saying the right words. It's almost too precise. It's almost too good. And I know he doesn't know about Web3 and dApps and DeFi and blockchain and the underlying tech. I know he doesn't. But he's saying all the right words. So somebody educated behind the scenes is giving him that information. And so he's exciting the base, and he's getting the people that are into crypto to come flock towards him. While Biden, threatening to veto, if he hasn't done so already by the time of this recording, depending on when you're watching this, is pushing the crypto personnel away from it, right? Especially because, remember the freaking letter that went around to various mining firms, and they had to fill it out and stuff like that, and provide personal information, business information, all that good stuff. And kind of put them on the map as far as government-wise, and if they're not compliant, they can get in trouble. Well, that was shut down. That was a good thing. But that's the type of administration we're dealing with, is we're going to get doxxed for providing a service to the network, whether it's Bitcoin or any other cryptocurrency. So I think Biden administration is lacking, well, informed in some areas, is lacking in others. And I think they need to calm down, reevaluate the situation, stop looking at it from a single lens or a dual lens, and look at it from a broad spectrum, and see how Bitcoin and blockchain and cryptocurrencies can help the U.S. economy, can help the U.S. government, can help the world in general. But right now, between the EU and the U.S., it seems that while some are taking a back seat, waiting for what's going on, others are trying to push against it. So anyways, hours after a meeting with Bitcoin miners at his Mar-a-Lago estate in Florida on Wednesday, the former president said that the Truth Social platform for cryptocurrencies users should vote for Trump. Well, because Biden hates crypto. Plain and simple, right? Hey, I like crypto. He doesn't like crypto, but I do. Come here. The declaration came weeks after a concerted outreach to crypto enthusiasts and other people leading the bargaining industry. And it already seemed to be paying off. One Bitcoin mining executive who met with Trump told CNBC that the industry has committed to raising over $100 million and turning out more than 500 million voters to help Trump this fall. But just a few years ago, when Trump was in the White House, he made it clear that he was not a fan of Bitcoin. He was a fan of the dollar, the almighty dollar. Wants the almighty dollar to be the one currency, period. He wants Bitcoin or your support because it will help him get into office. But I bet you once he's in office, again, he wants the dollar to be the dominant currency in the world. So some of those nations that are kind of pulling away from having USD as the national or the world currency, I think he's going to go after those countries or try to strong arm them in some form or fashion. We'll see how things go. I am not a fan of Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, which are not money and whose value is highly volatile based on thin air. He said in a series of social media posts in 2019, while he was still in office, unregulated crypto assets can facilitate unlawful behavior, including drug trade and illegal activity. We have only one real currency in the U.S., Donald Trump said, and it will always stay that way. It's called the U.S. dollar, right? So that's what he said in the past, but he's flipping his tune. I don't think we should have all the Bitcoins of the world out there. I think they should regulate them very, very, very high. What else did he say? I will ensure that the future of crypto and Bitcoin will be made in the U.S., not driven overseas, which is exactly what's happening right now with Elizabeth Warren, the SEC, Gary Gensler. I will support the right of self-custody in the nation's 50 million crypto holders, he added. With your vote, I will keep Elizabeth Warren and her goons away from your Bitcoin, and I will never allow the creation of a central CBDC, basically, central bank digital currency. So, again, all the right words. Somebody is giving him this information. I bet you he doesn't even know what a CBDC is. I bet you he doesn't even know, again, when he says self-custody, I'm pretty sure he has somebody that has somebody that has somebody. Like, he doesn't self-custody any crypto. Prove that you have some crypto, President Trump. If you can hear me and you watch this, prove that you have some cryptocurrency. Show me a hardware wallet. Show me a wallet address, something. But I want you to prove me that you have a self-custody wallet that you protect or that your team protects. Moving on. Build a crypto army moving the campaign to victory on November 5th. So, yeah, just trying to get the right words to get the right people to come on flip sides, right? I'm not going to question if it's a political decision, Kennedy said. When asked about Trump's reversal on cryptocurrency in a conference in Texas last week, I'm happy he did it, and I hope President Biden does too. And it kind of felt that way, right? Remember when we were like, oh, the Ethereum ETFs are not going to be approved, and, you know, oh, Biden's going to ruin everything. Biden kind of flipped. He kind of slowed his roll. But I still think President Biden has around him and in his own mind an old way of thinking, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? I just think that the youth of our politicians, legislative personnel, and other government bodies can help guide the country in the right direction. But if the old minds sit there stubbornly refusing to update, right, and they're still stuck on Windows 95, we're not going to get anywhere. We got to get the old guys to understand the beauty and understand our passions, right? Why did we get into crypto? Why did we get involved in crypto mining? Why do we love Bitcoin? Why do we love Ethereum? Why do we love XYZ, right? They don't understand that. So we got to make sure they know why we do. And they got to understand that, you know what, the average American has heard about crypto. While not every single one is actually owning cryptocurrency, a majority are, especially of the youth of below 50, right? I would say below 50. Like, I still got a couple of 50-year-olds watching this channel, and I thank you for your support. I got a grandma and a grandpa watching this channel. I love you guys. Thank you so much. And I hope that you just take what I say to not persuade you, to not change your thoughts or your opinions. I love it. Keep your own entity. Keep your own mind yourself. Do not change for any one individual party affiliation. Do not bring that unique flair into this world. Just take what I say into consideration and weigh it against other data sets and other points. That's my goal, right? I don't like either one because they don't tick either box. They might tick all the boxes for you. That's the difference between me and you. But we can still live on this world together peacefully and still have disagreements. It's just that simple, and it's just that beautiful that we can do that. We have that right, and people take those rights for granted. Ethereum ETF should be fully approved by September, says SEC Chair Gary Gensler. And remember, again, it didn't look like it was possible, and now all of a sudden it's here possible. Change to VOL. Volume is everything. Oh, you're talking about the chart? Jamie talking, telling somebody to take profits. Always take profits. He wants all Bitcoin to be mined in the US. Yeah, you know. What is the, hang on, let's go look this up. Amount of Bitcoin network hash rate by country. All right, so here we go. So the US accounts for 37.8% of the net hash. And I think, I'm not sure when this was calculated, but here's this is a beautiful picture, actually. Oh man, how do I go back? Now it's a beautiful picture. Let's zoom out, right? So 37.8% of the net hash is in the US. To try to get 100% of the net hash in the US, I think will be impossible. No one country, no one government, no one entity can control Bitcoin. So don't try. You're just going to waste your resources. But that's a large portion. Now, we could get to 50, 55, and that's kind of bad, right? What happens when we do when we have over 50% of net hash in a centralized entity? And it's not going to be centralized because there's going to be different mining operations throughout the US, not one operation. There's a big difference there. But to steal a majority of that from China, I think will be kind of hard because China's realizing the prospects of being positive and pro-crypto, pro-Bitcoin. Kazakhstan as well is the third one, right? Remember, they had to shut down a lot because they were having blackouts. Canada, look at that. North America. So between North America, we have over 40% of the net hash, and that's a good thing, right? North America has a large percentage of the net hash in its region, right? So even if China goes down, the Bitcoin network will continue to go. Even if Kazakhstan and China go down, the Bitcoin network will continue to work, right? Like, that's the beauty of Bitcoin. And even if the US and China go down, we got the rest of the world to keep us up. And even if most of the world goes down, guess what? I got a node, you got a node, they got a node. We can keep it running ourselves, right? Just more for us when we hit those blocks. So there's no way to really kill this. And to try to get 100% of the net hash in the US is going to be really, really hard. I think we can do better on renewables because only 22 out of that 37.8% is renewables, while China has 30% of its 21.1 on renewables. So I think we can do a lot better on renewables. But yeah, like people thinking that Ethereum or that Bitcoin is bad because it uses a lot of energy, have a one-sided view and just need further education. That's all. There's nothing bad. It's fine. It's okay to have a viewpoint like that. Just know that a lot of the operations are trying to operate with a good ESG mix between renewables and, yes, fossil fuel, natural gas, whatever it might be, to be good for not only the ecosystem but the energy grid, right? So we talked about that many times on the channel. I'm not going to beat a dead horse here, but anyways, moving on. Gary Gensler, Ethereum ETF should be approved by September. That's positive news, right? We see Ethereum climbing up. It's around 36. Let's go look at the chart on Ethereum real quick. See what's popping off. I do think that's feasible, but we'll have to wait and see. And you can see here, like for the longest time, while Bitcoin was making waves, I guess you could say, and it felt like most of the altcoins are doing a lot better than Ethereum. Ethereum wasn't getting much love. Well, I think Ethereum's going to get us love now, so we'll have to wait and see. And I'm sorry for the 3 or 4 or 5 subscribers that I turned off or kind of made upset with my rhetoric or my discussion about the presidency. I'm sorry. I just don't agree with either one. And again, my apologies. I can have an opinion. You can have an opinion. We can coexist with one another, have debates, and still live with one another. letting you know how my feelings are, my opinions. But my opinions are not facts. My opinions are based on facts, but my opinions themselves are not facts. So you do what's best for you. But the flip from the Biden administration, all of a sudden Ethereum approval is looking very likely when it wasn't looking likely, kind of flipped the script on us while we weren't expecting it. So an Ethereum ETF by the end of September could be really good. And what do we think Ethereum could get to? Now let's go ahead and stop the poll that we did up here real quick. And what do you guys vote? So do you believe Bitcoin can hit below 60K? 63% says yes, 33% says no, and 3% says not sure out of 30 votes. Thank you for all voting. And all right, so 63% of us are on the same page. Now, we could be wrong. Don't go betting the farm and shorting Bitcoin thinking that you'll be able to buy it back up below 60K because you don't know when that's going to happen. We believe it will happen, but we don't know when it's going to happen. Anyways, back to Ethereum, right? Let's say the Ethereum's previous all-time high was around right underneath 49K, right? And if the Ethereum ETFs were approved in September, let's see what will happen. So September, that's July 2025, September. So yeah, I'm thinking, because it's gonna take a while, right, for after the ETFs are approved for like the funds and all that stuff to come in. So kind of along the lines with Bitcoin, right? So Bitcoin election. Yeah, vote for Bitcoin for president. I would if it was on there. Can I write it in the ballot? But no, after the presidential election, Bitcoin starts doing its thing. Ethereum starts moving with it. And so let's say by August, September of next year, we're right below 7K. Let me get out of your way here because you can't even see that. Right below 7K, right? So 6966.38, which is a 95% increase over a time span of 340 days, I want to say. Or no, 515 days. I think that's certainly within the realm of possible. What do you guys think in the live chat? No poll, just tell me what you guys think in the live chat. All right, we're getting ready to wrap up the stream here as we get ready for Red Panda Mine to come on next. But I know I already asked this question. Most of you already got rid of your Ethereum. I'm hanging on to what I got, what little I have, because I would like to see Ethereum, hit that 7-10K range. But we'll see how things go. Gensler says the Ethereum ETF S1 approval is likely over the course of the summer, which is positive news for Ethereum and people who participate on Ethereum. And I think when that happens, though, I don't think it's just going to be Ethereum. I think a lot of the assets that are Ethereum based will also see a nice little boost in its price range, right? I mean, everything is red right now except for Toncoin. But I think when the Ethereum ETF happens, we can see a lot of the Ethereum assets or assets built on Ethereum also continue to rise. Now, gonna blow through these last few articles as we get ready for Red Panda Mining. Bear with me here. Let's go ahead and refresh this. Yeah, Red Panda Mining, there it is. We'll wait for him. All right. Stealth erosion. IMF issues striking U.S. dollar collapse warning as the Fed primes Bitcoin, Ethereum, and XRP for crypto price boom. All right, so strikingly, the reduced role of the U.S. dollar over the last 2 decades has not been matched by increases in the shares of other big four currencies: the euro, the yen, the pound. IMF economists Circlin, I can't say that name, Barry and Chima wrote in a report. Rather, it's been accompanied by a rise in the share of what we have called non-traditional reserve currencies, including the Australian dollar, Canadian dollar, Chinese renminbi, South Korean won, Singapore dollar, Nordic currencies. They wrote, pointing to new digital financial technologies such as automatic market making and automated liquidity management systems as powering that shift. This recent trend is also the more striking given the dollar's strength, which indicates the private investors have moved into the dollar-denominated assets. Earlier this month, the Fed Reserve in New York wrote a report outlining the narratives around declining dollar shares in official reserves and increasing roles of gold holdings by central banks which it says has been inappropriately generalized beyond the actions of small groups of countries. The Fed now admits that some countries are moving to gold. Tech investor for former Coinbase chief technology officer Bahaji posted on X, pointing that the Fed says it is a small group that represents 3 billion people to 37.5% of the world is moving away from dollars towards gold. And I'm not going to lie. I bought some gold. I'm not going to lie. I don't like the dollar. I don't like fiat. I have to use fiat to pay my bills. But I'm trying to diversify myself as much as possible, give my family the best shot, right? I want my boys to not have to work day to day and paycheck to paycheck the rest of their lives to do what they need to do. I want them to have something. I want my mom to spend whatever she wants to do the rest of her life. I want my wife to do the same thing. So I'm working hard now to make sure that my family is okay for the future. And that's usually what happens generation to generation, right? The son always tries to beat the dad. The daughter always tries to outdo the mom, right? They try to grow beyond what their parents had. But we'll see how things go. Solana Labs debuts blockchain customer loyalty platform Bond. As of June 12th, the firm has officially launched Bond, its new blockchain-based customer engagement platform aimed at helping brands drive long-term loyalty. Solana Labs says that the new platform will address critical limitations in today's loyalty programs, namely losing connection with the end user if a product is ever resold or gifted. While Bond is blockchain-based, it's unlike some of the firm's other recent launches, such as Solana Mobile. It doesn't put crypto front and center. Solana Labs decrease it as a seamless user experience where customers won't even realize it's Web3. Solana promises brands won't be required to have a blockchain experience either, since the service will be accessible through a single application program interface. The platform leverages the Solana blockchain to provide collectible digital twins and limited edition digital products that go along with real-world assets, or RWAs, which Solana said can encourage repeat engagement and increase overall customer value. So that popped up, right? We know about the meme coins it has. Oh, there's an ad coming up. Thank you, Retro Mike, for gifting a membership. Why'd you give me a membership? Oh, you gifted a membership of me to Chris Hanley. Thank you. I was like, why'd you give me a membership? Now, anyways, moving on. Would you like to pay 40K Solana, Dan? Don't get in trouble with the missus. 40K in Solana for a date with a Playboy playmate. Huh? Anybody got 40K in Solana? Crypto Twitter attention span tends to be short-lived, with fresh controversy topics quickly replacing the previous talking points. But Jalen Cook recently found herself the main topic of conversation on the timeline for more than typical news cycle. That's thanks to Only One, a crypto OnlyFans alternative on Solana blockchain, where she offered 3 spots for a date with her for 250 Solana, or a cool 36,000 a piece as of time of writing. Her top-tier date night pass offers the following benefits: one-on-one video calls, an opportunity for her to fly you out or fly to you at the buyer's expense, a 5-star hotel booked with the date, and bragging rights that you dated a Playboy playmate. Cook went viral yet again last week when the date was actually purchased for 41,000 worth of Solana at the time, and people are still talking about it. She spoke with Decrypt for an exclusive interview about the rival date offer, and while she's a fan of the Solana platform, yeah. Honey, can we buy her? Wifey, can we buy her? Yeah, anyways. So if you got the, I'm not sure if you guys bought it, but if you got the money, there you go. All right, Red Panda Mining should be going live any second now. Nope, he's live right now. Perfect. Oh, let me mute it. My bad. I didn't mean to blow your ears out. All right, you all have yourself a wonderful day. Thank you so much for stopping by. I do have an ad to play for you. Please stick for the ad. Make sure to hit the like button on the way out. And look forward to seeing you at Mind Disrupt next week. The following week. Oh, crap. No, next week I got... No, we're going to do the show. And then I got to go do something with the family. But then the following weekend, I would be at Mind Disrupt. I would be at Mind Disrupt that week. That weekend is going to be up in the air. But just bear with me. Follow me on Twitter. All the socials, all that good stuff. Stay up to date with me. And thank you so much for your support, guys. Just keep doing you. If you're a content creator, keep making those videos. Keep pushing out there. I don't care if you get 1 view, 100 views, 1,000 views. Welcome to the space. It's good to see the community growing. Make sure you stay in the game for the right reasons. Don't let the outside world influence you, your heart, your soul, your mind. Stay strong. Keep your convictions going. Stack them sats, way, whatever it is. Keep mining and hashing. And I appreciate every single one of you. Stay good. Be nice to one another. And take care. Do me a favor though on the way out, hit the like button, make sure to get subscribed, hit the notification bell to stay up to date, as well as check out additional links in the description to help support the channel and what we do here. Tickets to Mind Disrupt links down there, as well as tickets to Bitcoin Nashville. Hope to see you then. You just have yourself a wonderful day. Take care. I'll catch you next one.
Back to basic,